Okay, hey, let me just begin by saying what an incredible atmosphere that was. That was, you know, I think we anticipated a game that was going to have a great environment. We knew we were playing a extremely hard-playing, well-coached team, but this environment tonight was, I think, beyond even what maybe I anticipated. It was so credit to everyone who was here. I thought their fans gave them great life and energy and made a run on us, and we didn't always handle that as well as we needed to. I think, you know, mixed teams a lot like ours, where there is some new faces and it's a little bit of a transition time for them, and you know, we've got a lot of things to figure out. I'm sure he does, but as I told him, I have tremendous respect for, like, you know, people take it for granted how hard teams play, and with mixed team, it's such a consistent with how hard they play, and you know, I think probably they missed some shots tonight that they'll normally make. So we're grateful for the win. We'll take it and try to move on and be ready for Sunday.
Chris said that you thought this would be a test of toughness and resiliency. You seemed pretty confident that ended up being that. Just what did you learn about your guys seeing what they do after?
I think we responded well. I want a bigger sample size before I make too many proclamations about how we'll handle that. But I thought we handled it pretty well. I probably got to even handle myself a little better with the officials at times. But this was certainly a good test on that end. And I think at times we really responded well. I mentioned the play that Keyshawn made late there to find Caleb at the top of the key was a tremendous play. Showed great poise in the midst of kind of pretty incredible environment.
Coach, is this?
CJ goes and gives you that layup late to sort of ice it. Were you looking for your leader, your senior, in that kind of moment there?
Yeah, you know, we had talked about that at timeout. That was what we were trying to get a switch and then drive the switch. Their defense, I tried to tell our guys that we're going to see a lot of clunky possessions because of how well they defend, and you just don't see a team that switches as much as they switch across the board. And they did a really good job going zone to man a lot. It's difficult it's just difficult to play against. So we tried to keep it really as basic and as simple as possible. And CJ made a great play there.
Did that switching lead to you playing more three-guard lineups than maybe you had intended, or was that the plan going in?
You know, I think in some ways, because you're just looking to play basketball there, and you're looking for your best ball handlers and shooting. So that played into it. But I expect that we'll play three-guard lineups for a good part of the year.
President, you have a guy like Luther who obviously plays with oil fire. What's that conversation like when he makes a big shot but also kind of gets carried away there a little bit? And how would you assess the way he played tonight?
What was the conversation like? It was an interesting conversation. And it was pretty one-sided. But he realized it. He realized it. I think when you're young, you kind of feel, you know, that you can do some of that stuff. You can do a lot of it in AAU, and it's different here. Officials have their eyes on that. I think it was Terry who made the call, and it was the right call to make in that situation. He was great. He handled it. Luther is a tremendous competitor, and he recognized that he made a mistake in that situation, and that's all I wanted to communicate to him.
But you don't want him to lose that competitive edge, because that's what makes him.
I love him. That's why we recruited him, because he brings a great competitive spirit.
Chris, is this team perhaps better than what you thought you were going to be in your first game? I don't want to say you were worried about this game, but you knew it was going to be a tough environment and against a program that you said 8 straight. NCAA tournament appearances. Just how would you assess how they played tonight compared to how you thought you guys might play?
You know, I really want to watch the tape. You know, from just the naked eye, I think that we did some really good things. I was pleased with our poise. I thought we made shots like I thought we would, but it's really too early for me to make any statements about how we're going to be. I'm more interested on how we're going to respond to practice tomorrow than making any grand. I get your question, but make any statements about kind of where we're at as a team right now. So I'm more interested in how we're going to practice tomorrow.
Chris, what makes a team able to go on the road tough environments. You guys did it some last year, and get a hard-fought win against a team. What commonalities are there in those type of teams?
You know, obviously good players and guys that understand it's not a game of perfect. And I think as much as you communicate that with your guys, that it's not a game of perfect, and we're trying to move on and win the next possession as quickly as you can get your guys to have that mindset. I think the better. And you know, we'll see if we're tough enough to consistently do that. This is one game. I don't know how we're going to be beyond on the road. You know, it's just one game, so we'll see how we are moving forward.
Take two more, please. I thought Kyle Young really kind of came on through the game. Is that how you saw him? What were you happy about?
Well, I think we challenged all of our guys with how hard they play and how, you know, mixed teams in my mind, that they're as good at getting loose balls, and whether it's a rebound loose ball or a loose ball on they just get the ball as good as anybody. So I think Kyle's motor was pivotal tonight for us, and we did challenge our guys with, hey, listen, that you're going to play with high motor against high motor guys, and they're in scramble situations the way they defend. So it did free him up to kind of use his motor to go get some balls.
Chris, when you signed off on this to come here and play, was this what you had in mind? Let him put it aside winning or losing, but just the moment, the experience. Was this what you envisioned?
Yeah, I do think so. I thought it would be a great environment. I don't know that I even anticipated this environment. I mean, it was, like I said, it was tremendous. I'm sure, you know, it was not always aesthetically pleasing. Two defensive teams that you know, struggled a little bit offensively, so I get it that it may not have been at times the most pleasing game to watch, but it was a heck of a competitive college basketball game for the second night of the season.
Thanks, Coach.